How's it going, everyone? This video is brought to you by our good friends at Green Man Gaming, and I want to take you guys through their awesome Steam game deals as they are running a Golden Week sale from various publishers. We've got Square Enix games, Bandai Namco games, and much more, all discounted, and you can get some great Steam games at great prices. Anything you buy, you'll get a Steam key immediately, redeem it directly on Steam, and boom, you're good to go. And these prices do beat out the majority of prices you're going to see on Steam as well. Steam's running their own Golden Week deals, but these deals and prices are even better. Square Enix Publisher Sale. Again, if you are an XP member, you save a lot more, 20% on top of the regular discounts. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is $28. We're still waiting on Rebirth to come to PC, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime in the near future, but Remake is still worthwhile to pick up if you have yet to play it. It also includes the Intergrade expansion, the Intermission DLC, I should say, centering Yuffie, which is pretty good. And the main game, obviously, a solid experience as well. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, $6.40. Final Fantasy VIII is like the black sheep of the Final Fantasy series. Still a decent playthrough, and I would definitely recommend it at that price point. Nier Automata, Game of the Yorha Edition, $12.80 for this. Quite possibly the best deal across any of the Golden Week sales. I mean, there's a lot of good deals available as a part of Golden Week, but Nier Automata for this price point, sub $13, is a ridiculous, ridiculous buy. Whenever it's available at this price point at GMG, by the way, it always goes in and out of stock, so if by the time you guys are watching this video, it's out of stock, just keep looking, and if it's available for $12.60 and you don't have it in your library, $12.80 I should say, and you don't have it in your library, you absolutely should. It's a fantastic game. Platinum Games did a great job with the combat. The soundtrack is tremendous, and I can't say enough good things about Nier Automata. Just a great, great game. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is 60% off for $20. Nice to see that game finally get cheaper and cheaper. Now, keep in mind that Crisis Core, even though that this is an improved version from the original PSP release, it is still a PSP game. It's not like this is a ground-up remake or anything like that. Crisis Core is a great game, and knowing the story of Zack is very, very important to the overall narrative of Final Fantasy VII. I still think it's a worthwhile playthrough. For 20 bucks, it's not a bad pickup, but you know, $20 for any game is still kind of expensive to me, so keep that in mind. Final Fantasy VII OG is 68% off for $384. Look, that's a tremendous deal, and I think Final Fantasy VII is still very much worthwhile to play. Final Fantasy VII OG is a great game, and it's one of the most iconic video games of all time. Even with the remake coming out, the remake is great. Rebirth was great. Remake was great, but the original is still worthwhile to play. What I would recommend is install the Echo S mod. Echo S takes Final Fantasy VII, the OG release on PC, to another level. Fully voice acted by fans, and that fan voice acting is tremendous. I don't know how they nailed it that well, but like, unless you know it's a fan voice acted release, obviously it's a mod at the end of the day, you would think that these people were, you know, like, they got these people, Square Enix got these people to voice act Final Fantasy VII. Whoever that team is, I don't know who that team is, but whoever the team is that voice acted the Echo S mod, like, they should be rewarded in perpetuity forever, and, you know, they just did a fantastic job. But nevertheless, $384 for FF7, fantastic price. Definitely go check that out. The Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster is 68% off for $960. Final Fantasy X, another one of the super iconic Final Fantasy titles. I really enjoyed it. Does show its age at this point. I mean, I'm recommending games like Final Fantasy VII OG. Like, these games do show their age, but Final Fantasy X is great. Story is great. The battle theme still may be the goated battle theme in all of Final Fantasy. That battle theme is just tremendous in FF10. You know, great cast of characters. Auron is one of the GOAT Final Fantasy characters as well. Yeah, $960 for that. Outside of, like, the Blitzball sections, Final Fantasy X is a tremendous game. Final Fantasy XIII, $5.12. I love Final Fantasy XIII. I just completed another playthrough of this game last year, and I just love Final Fantasy XIII. I think it's a great game. The battle system just, I think, is fantastic. The Crystarium, I think, works well. Yes, it's super linear for the majority of the game. It does open up at Chapter 11, but even with all that, I think Final Fantasy XIII is awesome. I love Lightning. I think she's one of the better Final Fantasy main characters. And even with that being said, like, Lightning's not this blow-away character, but she's got this badass aura to her. I don't know. I get why people dislike Final Fantasy XIII. I absolutely get it. But for me, I just think it's a great game. It does it for me, and if you don't like it, I understand. Like, I understand all of the criticisms attached to Final Fantasy 13. The story is kind of nonsensical as well, you know, but I dig FF13. Like, FF13 legit, as far as my personal enjoyment out of a Final Fantasy game, 13 ranks really high up there for me, and some of you guys are like, bro, what are you on? But, like, nah, I just loved 13. Didn't love the sequels as much, but 13 I really enjoyed. Dragon Quest 11 is $19.19. Final Fantasy 12, $16. Final Fantasy 12 is another one of those Final Fantasy games that a lot of people had a lot of people had mixed opinions on, I should say. I loved FF12 as well. Thought the game was great. Vaughn isn't the greatest main character, to say the least, but I saw this in a comment in one of my recent videos talking about FF12, and the idea of Vaughn as a main character, this is what the commenter said, but it was the idea that Vaughn was this rather regular dude that was embroiled in this grand narrative that was playing out before him with characters like Ash, and I believe Ash was initially scheduled to be the main character of this game, and really, she is who the story revolves around, and there's other compelling characters in the game for sure. Vaughn is just a little bit bland, but I guess that's kind of the idea. Nonetheless, $12 or $16 for FF12 is great. Final Fantasy IX, that game's beloved, $6.72. I'm not that crazy of a Final Fantasy IX person, but I get why people love it. Final Fantasy 15, $11.20. That game was incredibly disappointing to me. I still liked it, but yeah, I just had grandiose expectations out of that game. Nier Replicant is $19.20. That game is definitely worthwhile to play as well. Quiet Man, $2.40. One of the worst games of all time. Final Fantasy 13, $2. $6.40, and Lightning Returns is $6.40 as well. Yo, for that price point, like, those games aren't bad. I just don't think they're as good as 13. Lightning Returns had some cool mechanics. 13-2 was really a bait and switch where Lightning was on the cover of the game, and then you just played as Sarah for the entirety of the game, which was absolutely whack. Like, nobody wanted to play as Sarah, and you literally used Lightning as a promotional vehicle for the game. That was such a bait and switch, but what can you do? These things happen. Star Ocean: The Last Hope, 76% off for $504. That's a game that I haven't played in a while, but I definitely got to revisit it, as Star Ocean's been getting some steam, although with Square Enix's new initiatives, I don't know if Star Ocean's going to be a franchise that's going to be here for the long term, but at least we got a Divine Force, and Last Hope remastered was pretty good at $504. Not a bad pickup there. Live Alive, $20 on that, pricey, but a great HD 2D title. Dio Field Chronicle, a game that I enjoyed a lot more than a lot of other people. That is $19.20. So there's a lot of other deals. Valkyrie Elysium is on sale. Forspoken for the two people that want to pick up that. Neo: The World Ends With You, that game is awesome. Definitely recommend that. But yeah, a lot of great deals as a part of that. Bandai Namco Publisher Sale is running right now with some awesome deals, including Tekken 8, 40% off for $42.13. Look, I'm not a big fan of fighting games, but that game from a single-player standpoint was absolutely ridiculous. It's a relatively short campaign, so I can't say, like, yo, spend the $40 to buy it just for the campaign. That's, like, not worth it, to be perfectly honest, but I gotta say that game was a ton of fun, and, you know, as far as, like, presentation, aesthetics, it's great in that aspect. Soundtrack is great. $42, given that it just came out back in January, I don't think is too bad of a pickup, and it was a $70 release. The Deluxe Edition, on the other hand, is $68.79, 31% off. That does give you the bonus characters, so keep that in mind. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 91% off for $5.16. Awesome deal for a game that I think is kind of underrated. I mean, we're up to Ace Combat 7, so I can't say, like, the franchise is that underrated. If any franchise gets 7 games, and Ace Combat has even more than 7. But if it gets to number 7 in the hierarchy, I mean, you're doing something right, and obviously, the games have been pretty consistent. Great soundtrack in those games as well. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Legendary Edition is 69% off for $37.15. Now, that sounds expensive, but the MSRP for this, or the suggested price, is $120 because it comes with Season Pass 2, which the content for that just recently wrapped up. It started in January of last year, and it started at $40. So, like, to buy that Season Pass alone was $40. Now you're getting the game, you're getting the first Season Pass and the second Season Pass, all for a lower price than the second Season Pass initially came out for. And this is one where I think patient gamers are definitely picking up the W. However, I do think there's going to be a third Season Pass. Look, they haven't done any content on Broly yet, and I just feel like Broly content not being in this game is a little bit strange, and the only reason I can come up with is for the fact that they might do a 3rd season pass. And look, they've done Deluxe Edition, they've done Legendary Edition, they still haven't done one that's called the Complete Edition, so take that for what you will. Enslaved Odyssey to the West Premium Edition, 87% off for $2.58, often a game I talk ad nauseum about. It's a great game, I recommend it, of course. Great post-apocalyptic action-adventure title. Tales of Berseria, 91% off for $4.30, same price for Tales of Zestria. Both those are great pickups. Dragon Ball Fighters Edition is 86% off for $12.38. Soul Calibur 6, $5.16, that's a great deal for that. Dot Hack GU Last Recode is $4.30. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 is 91% off for $4.47. God Eater 3, $5.16, while God Eater 2 is $4.30. Both of those deals are quite good. DB Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, that is $3.44. Tekken 7 is on sale. I mean, if you want to get a cheaper Tekken game, the definitive edition of that is $17.03. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition, that includes Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. Great value there for $8.60. You got some Sword Art titles on sale. Ni no Kuni 2 at $8.26. Scarlet Nexus at $8.26 is an awesome deal. Scarlet Nexus is ridiculously awesome. Definitely recommend that. Tales of Vesperia is $8.60. Recommend that game as well. Tales of Vesperia is awesome. Digimon Survive down all the way to $12.90. I remember playing that back in 2022 when it came out and thoroughly enjoying it, so for that price, certainly would give it a recommendation. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series is 78% off for $8.60. Good deal there as well. Tales of Symphonia, 78% off for $4.30. Decent pickup for Symphonia as well. Then you got deals like Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash, which that game is terrible, legitimately one of the worst games of 2024, and even if you're the most hardcore of JJK fans, not worth it whatsoever. Tales of Arise, 68% off for $12.73. That deal, on the other hand, is fantastic. One Piece Odyssey is $25.80. So a lot of deals from the Bandai Namco and some good stuff there. Tecmo Koei's got a Golden Week sale as well. Fate Samurai Remnant, 42% off for $34.56. Look, that's an expensive price, and that doesn't even give you all the content, given that they're rolling out DLC that you do get with the Deluxe Edition. I will say Fate Samurai Remnant is absolutely awesome, and it's one of the more underrated games of 2023. If that price point's a little bit too much for you, I understand. Tecmo Koei games do hold up in price, generally speaking, but if at any point you find that game for sub 30 or sub 25, it'll be a great pickup. I hope it does get to a price point where a lot more people want to check it out, because that game is genuinely really, really good. Great story, and the setting is awesome as well. Definitely recommend that. You've got Samurai Warriors discounted, and they do have the Fate Samurai Remnant Digital Deluxe at $64.49, so yeah, like, obviously super pricey on that. Then there is a Capcom Golden Week sale. You've got titles like Resident Evil 4 down to $26.09, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, $4.18. That is, of course, Dogma 1. Monster Hunter Horizon Sunbreak, $17.23. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, same price on that. Resident Evil 2, Monster Hunter World 2, the base game, or excuse me, Monster Hunter World, the base game, is $8.61, as is Devil May Cry 5 and Virgil. Great deals there. Resident Evil Revelations down to $4. DMC Devil May Cry, $6.53. Good deals on those as well. That's gonna do it for me. Again, thanks to our friends at GMG for this video. Check out the links in the description box below. If you do buy anything, we get an affiliate commission, and that is much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Sound off down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.